You take 6 couples on the verge of divorce. You put them in a castle, and then, for reasons known only to God and a producer, you give them a night out at a bar. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? Welcome back to Reality Recaps Unfiltered. I'm Ruby, and you already know the rule. The last resort is not a vacation. It's a pressure cooker with a drink minimum. And this week, they opened the lid. Season 3, Episode 5, titled The Last Chance for Honor, Rebecca finds out about what Sarper's been saying behind her back. And she does not let it slide. Kara and Guillermo reconnect on the dance floor. And Thais throws herself in front of Patrick. Shekinah's words, the one she's been sharpening all season, finally turn into a full screaming match. You have 6 couples in that castle, and every single one of them gets covered tonight. Rebecca and Zied, Kara and Guillermo, Shekinah and Sarper, Thais and Patrick, Jenny and Sumit, and lastly, Paola and Russ. So let's get into this. Let me start with Rebecca and Sarper, because this is the confrontation the night was built around. So here's the setup, ladies and gentlemen. Rebecca learned that Sarper, the same Sarper who gave us the 2500 speech last week, has been making jokes behind her back, specifically mocking her past relationships, her failed romances, the ones that didn't work out. He went after her history, the tender part, and Rebecca did not absorb it all quietly. At the bar, she ripped him a new one. And what did Sarper do? What Sarper always does. He doubled down and told her you have no sense of humor and that she can't take a joke. It's just a joke, the official anthem of every man who got caught. Now, here's where it gets good, because Zied stepped in. Zied, who spent this whole season being told he's the one with the problems, the controlled one, the surveilled one. Zied stood up for his wife. And I have to respect it, because of all the noises about Rebecca and Zied's issue, when someone came for her in public, he was on his feet. That's the thing about this couple people keep missing. The jealousy is real. The control cycle is real. But so is the loyalty. He didn't laugh along. He defended her. And let me say the obvious thing about Sarper. The difference between being funny and using "I'm joking" as a delivery system for cruelty. Sarper keeps reaching for the second one and calling it the first. Mocking a woman's heartbreaks to a group and then telling her she's too sensitive when she finds out. That is not comedy at all. Rebecca, you had every right. Every single right. Now, let me go to the one bright spot of the night, Kara and Guillermo. After everything, the content fight, the suitcase, the breakthrough he torched on arrival last week, these two reconnected in this episode, but on the dance floor. A sexy dance, and the whole group was reading the temperature and urged them to kiss. They sounded like a bunch of high schoolers at lunch, daring them to kiss, in my opinion. And I felt myself doing the thing I keep telling myself to stop with this couple, and that's hoping. Because here's the truth about Kara and Guillermo. The attraction was never the problem. The chemistry was never the problem. Kara told us last week the sex was always a bright spot, even at their worst times, that maybe it could bring back a small bridge. And this is that bridge, lit up on a dance floor in front of everyone. I really want it to be real. I really, really do, ladies and gentlemen. But I've been burnt by this man's whiplash once already this season. He held her hands, said he was thankful, and announced that he was leaving under the same breath. So I'm going to enjoy this dance and keep one eye open. A sexy dance is a beautiful thing. It is not by itself a marriage, though. Show me consistency, Guillermo, not choreography, por favor. And then there's Shekinah, who has been loading this pew-pew all season. If you were with me last week, you watched Shekinah declare war on Patrick, called him a stirrer. She said she hated every word that came out of his mouth, told Guillermo not to even be friends with him. That was the fuse. This week, it's the powder. Her harsh words turned into a full screaming match, and in the middle of it, Thais defends Patrick. Which is a little plot twist on its own, isn't it? Because Thais and Patrick have been the most fragile couple in this castle. The divorce filing, the arrest before the season even aired. And yet, when Shekinah came for Patrick, Thais stood up for her husband. Sometimes you don't know how you feel about your own marriage until someone starts to attack it. And I want to sit with that one for one more second, because it does matter. A woman whose husband filed to end their marriage put herself between him and a room. This was not the behavior of someone who's done. Whatever the paperwork says, something in Thais is still fighting for this. File that away. It's going to matter later. Now, Shekinah, I have tried hard to be fair to her all season, but the go back to your country comment, I could not defend, and I said so. But I also understand a woman who came to this castle already separated, already raw, and watching everyone else get breakthroughs while she got a husband bragging about his body count. That's a person running on a very short fuse. The screaming match isn't really about Patrick. It never is. It's about everything Shekinah has been swallowing since episode 1, and it's all coming up at once. Now, let me check in on the two couples who stayed out of the wreckage tonight, because at this castle, that's kind of its own story. Jenny and Sumit, 15 years together, 7 years in India, and last week's therapy room finally got them to start talking about intimacy honestly. Sumit saying that he still gets aroused just looking at her. Jenny admitting that she's the loud one and how hard that it was at his parents' house. Their homework was to act like animals, growling. Go off, Jenny. Do your thing, girl. But here's what I keep noticing about these two on a night like this. When the bar turns into a war zone, Jenny and Sumit are not in it. They're not the ones swinging. And after 15 years, that's not positivity. That's two people who already know exactly where their fight lives. And it isn't in a room full of other people's business. Their problem was never volume. It's the family back home, and no bar in England is going to hand them that conversation. Now, Paola and Russ, who had the most brutal therapy session of anyone last week, and have to walk into a party the next day like nothing happened. Remember when Russ told the room that he satisfies himself first? Paola told the room what she does after she falls asleep. And the therapist looked at them in pain and said, Russ seems to be a bad lover. And Paola has bad communication. And the combination of these two things is not a good thing. So watch how they carry that. Because the homework was 8 body parts and a willingness to actually talk. And the thing about the homework is it comes due whether or not you had a fun night. Paola is exhausted from being the one who earns, then who decides, the one who says the thing out loud. Russ genuinely wants to keep things better and keeps aiming at the wrong target. I want them to make it. I just need Russ to stop guessing and Paola to stop making him guess, to be honest with you. The last chance for honor. I'm going to say that one more time. The last chance for honor. At a bar with this group. Honor was not on the menu tonight. All right, let me land this chaotic plane. A man who mocked a woman's heartbreak and called it comedy. A husband who finally stood up for his wife. A wife defending the man who filed on her. A dance that might be a bridge or it might be a trap. And a screaming match that was 3 episodes in the making. This was the night the castle manners finally cracked, and what spilled out had been building the whole time. But that's the show, and we're all watching every second of it. Patreon link is in the description. $5 a month gets you in the door, early access, bonus content, the full conversation. $10 is a Superfan, $25 an executive producer with your name in the credits. Don't be shy, ladies and gentlemen, I do not bite. Drop in the comments, was Sarper just joking, or did Rebecca have every right to come for him? And be honest, because you already know I've picked a side. Thank you for listening to Reality Recaps Unfiltered. I am your host, Ruby, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.